Hi, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about two of the products in the new Natasha Denona Holiday 2020 collection. No, none of them are lip gloss. I have the Mini Zendo Palette and the I Need a Nude Glow Highlighter. This year for Holiday 2020, Natasha Denona launched these two products and two new shades of the I Need a Nude lipstick. I don't have either one of those, but we're going to talk about these two. Let's start with the highlighter. I really like the size of this highlighter. It's like bigger than the palm of my hand. It's very large. It's $42, so I would hope so. And here is your pan size. This highlighter is also super cool with the way that it's poured. It's got all these kind of crazy layers and the little logo in the corner. Super metallic-y. This formula originally debuted in the Tan Bronze and Glow palette, and now it is back in a champagne tone for the holidays. It is the highlighter I am wearing today. I am wearing both the eyeshadow palette and the highlighter with my look. And although it is a very bold highlight, it is very, very shiny and glowy. It's not overwhelming. It's not super sparkly. It's not super yellow. I was very concerned with the tone of this palette that it would be too yellow on my skin, but it's really not. It's very, very pretty, and it picks up the light very nicely. At first, I was very, very disappointed with the color of this highlighter. I was very concerned that it was promoted to be a universal highlighter. Natasha Denona, Pat McGrath, and Charlotte Tilbury all came out with highlighters for this holiday collection, and each brand only launched one shade, and it really just kind of irked me because it's very, very hard to get a universal one shade for everybody, especially when it comes to a highlighter that can have a gold or a champagne or a silver or a warm or a cool or a rose or whatever different tones. It's not like a clear gloss that's universal, and I'm generally more of a cool toned shade type person, so when I saw all of these champagne-y gold highlighters, I was like, nah, that's kind of lame. And when it comes to inclusivity and makeup being something that can bring everybody together, I was really just disappointed that each brand only came out with one shade. But I will say when it comes to warm versus cool, this actually looks a lot better on my skin than I was anticipating. So of course I would have to see it on a lot of different skin tones to know if it's truly universal, but it's faring better than I expected it to. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch this for you. I don't know if you can hear it, but it actually feels kind of dry, but the shine is gorgeous. It really is a great metallic highlighter that's not sparkle. You're not just throwing glitter all over the place. You really are just adding a very nice metallic-y sheen. And again, on my arm, it looks very yellowy gold, almost a bit of a peach to it. My skin does turn pinks a little bit brown, so it could be why it's showing up a little bit more of a kind of peachy champagne on my skin. Again, like I said, not everything is universal for every single person, but when you compare this and how this looks on my skin versus this, it's much better in practical use than it is in swatches. But it is super creamy, super pretty, and very, very reflective. Moving on to the Mini Zendo Palette. This little mini palette is $25. It is the same price and size as the other Natasha Denona mini palettes. If you've been to my blog before, you know I am a huge fan of these mini palettes. If I could only recommend one eyeshadow product to everyone, it would probably be the Natasha Denona Mini Nude palette. I'm obsessed. I wear it almost every day. And this is the bronze inspired version for holiday. As you can see, it does bring in some of those kind of bronze warmer tones. You have this burgundy tone here, a silver. The shades are Stark, Bare, Stripped, Daze or Daz, D-A-Z-Z, I don't know, and Uncovered. We have Uncovered, Daz or Daze, Stripped, Bare, and Stark. So these are the 5 shades in the Mini Zendo palette. You can see just how reflective these 3 metallic shades are. They're so pretty, this silver especially, and these 2 mattes are super creamy. For today's look, I have this shade in my crease, this shade on my lid, this shade in the inner corner, this shade in the outer corner, and this shade in the deep crease. Kind of like with that highlighter, I am very intrigued by the way this palette looks different in the package, in the swatches, and on my skin. First of all, in the package, I hate this metallic packaging. I miss the original few palettes that were all white packaging. because the white doesn't change the way the color looks in the package. Whereas this, it kind of makes it hard to tell. Like, it says that this is a burgundy, but in my opinion, it looks much more brown on my skin. Again, my skin does weird things, but I would never guess that this was a burgundy in the pan, or that this is a light pink. This is a silver, but it's almost kind of an optical illusion, like the striped dress. Is it black and blue or golden white or whatever that was? It just changes the tones of the eyeshadows when it has a weird color on the outside. And I feel like the Mini Retro palette did the same thing. And when you see these two next to each other, they look quite similar, but I think if you got rid of the colored packaging, they would look very, very different. So I'm just intrigued by that design choice, because I feel like it doesn't really do the eyeshadows any favors, because you can't look at it and tell if you would like the colors or not. It does weird things to your brain. And then in the swatches, they all look very brown and warm, and I did not think I would like this silver at all. But on my skin, on like my eyes and my face, they're actually super pretty, especially blended together. And the pink doesn't bother me as much. At first, I thought it was going to make me look sickly or kind of turn weird colors on my skin, but they're very pretty on. So color theory, science, all of the things make things look different. But I think this is actually a very, very pretty palette, even though it's not quite what I was anticipating for holiday. Now that I've said that I think the Mini Retro palette and the Mini Zendo palette look quite alike, I am going to use these spaces in between my swatches for the Mini Zendo palette to swatch the Mini Retro palette so we can see the difference. The top 5 swatches are the new Mini Zendo. The bottom 5 swatches are the Mini Retro. And you can definitely tell that these are kind of all from the same vibe. Like, you could almost put these 10 colors together and make a 10-pan palette. Like, they're all from the same color family. These two silvers look very, very similar. These two mattes look quite similar. This one is a little bit darker in tone. These two shimmers, it's like this shimmer and this shimmer had a baby to become this shimmer. I don't know. That's an interesting creative choice, in my opinion, to do two mini palettes kind of back to back that have a lot of the same vibe. But I have to say, after working in bridal for many years, I know there are a lot of different shades of white. So I am in no way saying that these are two identical palettes. I will agree, every shade, every undertone is very different. I'm just saying, for too many palettes to kind of have very similar color stories, it's just an interesting choice in my opinion. My final thoughts on these two products from the Natasha Denona Holiday collection. I really like this highlighter. I think it's very pretty. I think it is a little bit expensive at $42, but it's not as expensive as the other prestige highlighters that have launched lately. I think the packaging is nice. It's cute. I love the size of this mirror. It's a very large mirror. I think the way that this is pressed in the pan is very unique and pretty. And I think the color payoff and the performance of the highlighter is really, really nice. As for the Mini Zendo palette, I love these mini palettes. I think they're wonderful. I love that you can create a cohesive look using just the palette, or you can bring in some of the other minis or other palettes if you want other shades to mix with them. I love that they're $25. I love that they're a great size. They don't take up a ton of space. I wish they would go back to the original white packaging. I think in and of this palette itself, it is very pretty, but these shades are not my favorite. My favorite of the mini palettes is still the Mini Nude, but if you like these colors and you're looking to add a little bit more of that coppery rose gold into your repertoire, this is really nice. If you already have the Mini Retro, or if you are a pink type person or a little bit more cool tone, I would just compare the two and see which is better for your personal preferences. Again, they are not completely identical. They do have some differences, but you just might look at the two instead of buying both. And now it's your turn. Let me know in the comments below what you think of these new Natasha Denona Holiday 2020 products. Let me know what other holiday products you want to talk about this season. We're getting into the holidays. I can't wait. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, ring that bell so you know when I launch a new video, and I'll see you next time.